9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Welcome back to another stream of Not Real Toys. It's been a crazy week, but I am very glad to be back here. As you can see, if you're seeing this, my office is a complete disaster because I have been just trying to get it all set up and rework some things. I got a lot of cool equipment coming in, and I've been digging a lot of stuff out of my basement and sorting through the attic just to get some really cool stuff set up for the future. So some game streaming, some retro game streaming. Yeah, so apologies if when we zoom out it's all like this. I wish I had time to clean up, but family life and whatnot takes up a lot of time too, which I'm gladly happy to spend more time doing than cleaning up this office. So yeah, we are working on Venom still. We made some pretty good progress last week. Last time we streamed was on Thursday. I'm going to be doing this stream every Tuesday and Thursday. Yeah, we got our Venom. We did a lot of blocking out. We made some decisions about where the direction of it was going. We originally had Eddie Brock coming out of the side here. If you can see my cursor on the screen. But we decided just to make his just a solid Venom piece. And we came up with a good idea where we'll do this as the initial standard version, and then we'll do like an alternative render where Venom's actual face is like peeled back, and we'll have Eddie Brock's head kind of like poking out of it. So we'll still get some Eddie Brock in here. But initially it's just going to be Venom with the frying pan, and we assume to be a criminal's head because, Venom does eat people, but it's bad guys or Spider-Man, depending on his mood. And the spatula. So we got a little bit of a checklist to go through. Some notes as from last week. We want to redo the eyes. The eyes definitely could use some work. Work on the teeth coming out of the gums. So right now we have teeth. I'm not satisfied maybe with the amount of teeth. I'd like to add more and see how that goes. And then actually sculpting the gums so it looks like they're protruding out of the gums. I think I also want to add some more definition to his jawline. So I'm going to add that to the list. Apologies for the type in. Definition to the jawline. That we actually need to start merging this piece together and adding some like hard definition, where the muscles are. Right now it's very soft. We've added some denser geometry here, and smoothed it out, but it's not really defined. It's still very soft right now. It doesn't really necessarily look like muscles, just kind of chunky meat arms. And then we need to add some of the classic white rectangles to the hand. I also want to go ahead and just experiment more with what I keep calling the tendrils, the symbiote kind of, extensions of him that are kind of a conveyance of like his mood, shows when he's excited or he's about to attack. And then we want to do the actual Eddie Brock variant head. I actually might move that up the list because before I start merging pieces together and adding definition to the muscle, it'd be nice to block out the head of Eddie and just see like if that's going to be something we need to kind of keep separate, or if we can basically just do the two variants where, I merge the body first and then work on the variant afterwards. So I guess we'll go ahead and dive in. Let's start with the teeth. We got his teeth up in here. Oops. It would help if I'm actually on the right subtool folder. Okay. So Carhartt Gaming is already on. I'm out to dinner with Lydia. Oh yeah. Tell Lydia I said happy birthday. Sorry I wasn't able to say it to her myself. I hope one day, we get to live a lot closer to each other and our daughters can actually spend time with each other. yeah, I will be on till about I think around like 11 tonight. So feel free to tune in. If not, have fun with Lydia and yeah, have a great time. Let me know if there's anything I can get Lydia. Okay. I feel like this is going to be kind of a chill stream. It would help if I had some radio, but I need to. I'm still doing so much investigative work with how to optimize the stream and best times, best kind of like setup. I've been looking into other streaming solutions, Stream Labs, and man, it is such a rabbit hole. It's kind of incredible how deep it goes because it's still such a like a wild west. I feel like, I mean, I guess that's not fair. It's just to say wild west. That's not necessarily the best metaphor for it, but people are just paving the way as they go. You know, like it's just very cool that it's such a the medium. You know, video broadcasting and live television and stuff like that. It's been around for a really long time now. Most of the people who are doing this these days are probably not as old as when live television was invented and first debuted. It's probably a huge understatement. But sorry, I'm saying so much tonight. I'm trying to get my brain into the funk here. Um, I just had dinner with my daughter, and it was really nice, and I don't know, it's just fun just thinking about it. But yeah, it's just such a wild west medium, and for me, in my eyes, like people are still figuring out new ways to kind of make it work and how to like leverage the platform and leverage all this other social media platforms and stuff to like draw attention to it. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to kind of scramble to get it all together. And not that I'm scrambling, but like to try to figure out how to make it all into this cohesive flow that you can manage week to week, and not just for yourself for your own benefit, but also for the users and the people that do want to be kept in the know. And yeah, so it's cool. It's I love learning new things, and I love being able to say I'm better at something than I was last week. And I think every week that I do this, I'll be able to say that. But I definitely see that there's a long road ahead that it's going to take a while for me to feel confident. It'll take a while before someone maybe comes to me and asks me, how did I get started? How did I, what did I do? And if someone asks me that right now, I'd be like, man, I am still figuring it out. I don't know. I'm really interested in figuring out how to like repurpose some of the stuff we do here on the stream into, more social content. I haven't been big on like TikTok yet. I finally started an account, started actually like going on it every night before while I'm laying in bed. And yeah, I'm starting to, it sounds so old for me to say this, I'm starting to get the appeal of it. I feel like an old boomer saying that, but no, like I didn't think it was for me necessarily, because from the outside and the social circles that I'm a part of, like no one was really talking about TikTok. My understanding of it was a lot more like, oh, it's like Vine, but like with more dancing, which I guess is maybe true at some level. But in spending more time with it, my feeling of it now is that for me, it's like Instagram, but with more video, because that's all really you can post on there. Like no one's posting photos. So when that snapped from like, oh, okay, it's Instagram for video. And it also treats people who want to use music, mixed with their content, treats them a lot better as well. So that's something I like a lot, because I like adding music to my, to the work that I put out there on social media. And Instagram has definitely paved a way a little bit in terms of using audio and stuff. But I do hate the fact that like when I go back and look at old stories, sometimes the audio that I put in there is like has been taken out, or the rights to it have gone away. So now you have like this you have like this story that made a lot more sense in context when there was a song tied to it. and now you look at it and it's just dead silence, and you're like, what? This doesn't have nearly any amount of the energy it had before. So I'm sure TikTok does that too, but I think for them it's a much, I'm sure their contracts with musicians is a much bigger focus with the, or not musicians, but like the studios and maybe the musicians. Okay, let me zoom out here. He's got he's got a nice like row of small teeth up top. I like that. The bottom row has some bigger teeth. Need to get some smaller teeth in here. Maybe just fill in the gaps a little bit. Okay. Trouble is, I need a function in ZBrush that, like, if I have a folder, maybe I can just randomly paint all the different objects in it just to take a look at it. And because right now I'm looking at a whole folder of teeth, and I am so I'm so wanting just to like go in here and merge it all together and put auto group in it, just so I can get a better look at how the folder, or the, excuse me, how the subtools break down. Sorry, I'm speaking jargony. Okay, so auto group that. That's what I'm just gonna do. As I said it, I'm like, you know what? That's the best way to do this. Go ahead and hide that guy. So I'm just rearranging the teeth right now. Okay. That is actually fine. If I duplicate this, will it duplicate? No, okay, it duplicates the whole row. I wasn't sure if when I duplicated an object that has a partial mask, if it just duplicates only the masked part or the unmasked part, but it looks like it duplicates the whole thing. I'm sure there's a workaround for that, but I don't need to investigate that right now. Okay, so now that I did that, I can also just break this back apart. So split 2 parts. Please don't make a mess. Okay, good. I was worried that when I split it to parts, it would dump them all outside the folder, and I have to go and manually move them all back into the folder, which would take a little bit of time because there's a lot of teeth in there. Now, where is this guy at? I need that center tooth again. Actually, this one wasn't a bad one. I can use that. Okay. Move it around a little bit. And I'm really just copying a lot of these teeth because the shape of them is so similar that by just tweaking them a little bit and moving them with the move brush, I can really make them look just the right amount of randomly like different from the tooth next to it. You know, it doesn't need a whole other you know, subtool being added, like primitive being added and then reshaped to a tooth. Just copy, modify, move it over next to it, maybe sharpen it more, maybe dull it up a little bit more. It does not matter so much. So let's go ahead and smooth that guy down. Let me go ahead and remesh this guy. Ooh, definitely more than that. Okay. Okay. Actually, I mean, he's got a lot of teeth. That is quite the set right there. I'm trying to think that like when I go ahead to do the Eddie variant, I'm going to call it. I'm guessing I'll move the tongue out of the face, and then I'll just completely take off the whole top. But the lower jaw probably will still be there. So I like the idea that like his head's almost sitting, you know, on top of, you know, this lower jaw. Like, I think it's just a cool look, and I think I've seen it like that in the movie, that end scene of the first movie, where he's intimidating the I don't know, call it the mugger or the guy that's is it racketeering? I'm not sure what the word is, but you know, that's the enforcer that comes in and takes money from the woman behind the cash register. He like grabs a hold of that guy, and at the end he does this whole like "We are Venom" thing, and it's like his head's really sitting in the center of it, but it has a cool look because I think the jaw is like right underneath it. Just it's a very unique visual to see. Very Venom. Okay. I'm curious to see what that looks like. I think I'm already starting to tease myself like, ooh, let's see what that looks like. Let's turn off all that stuff and add a head in there just to, so I can actually move that neck back a little bit. Okay. Let's see how far we can get away with it. Turn on the how do I turn on that transparent ghost mode? There we go. I almost never use this, but it is pretty useful. So I guess I should use it more. So, like I said, I've been getting a bunch of equipment, some new hardware. I got an Elgato capture card. Elgato, I pronounced that very, I don't know. I'm not going to say eloquently, but unique. I'm not sure if that's exactly how you say it, but anyway, got an Elgato card. There we go again. I got my PlayStation 4 plugged in. First thing it is, I plugged it into PlayStation 4. Didn't know that beforehand you have to like go into PlayStation settings and on the system settings and change the output method for HDMI to be like this. I don't remember the exact setting, but it's basically just a checkbox, because if you don't, and it's the first thing you try to plug into your Elgato card, it won't work. And then you'll think to yourself, did I get a busted card? Is my PlayStation broken? Is it the HDMI cord? Is the capture card not getting enough power? Like, I went through the whole thing, and then finally, as always, the unsung hero is the 14-year-old on YouTube who posts a really brief and to the point tutorial, gives you exactly what you need, and you do it, and you find out, and you go, "Thank you, kid. I don't know who you are. Probably never see a tutorial by you again, but I'd buy you a beer if you're of age because you saved my butt." So yeah, that whole thing happened to me. But yeah, I got a card, so I got some console set up behind me. I got a Dreamcast, GameCube. These are all consoles I've had when I was much younger that have just been really sitting in boxes. I'm not a hoarder. I just really love the old consoles, and I used to think, maybe I'll start playing them one day. And streaming is a really good reason to get back into that. There's definitely some games I'm excited to check out again. I actually got a Dreamcast when I was, I think, in my early 20s. I didn't get it when it came out. I must have been either in elementary school or middle school then. And yeah, it just didn't. I think I had just gotten a PlayStation at the time, and I'm sure the next, like, Nintendo was coming out with their next thing or something. Anyway, there was no need to get a Dreamcast in my house as far as my parents were concerned. So we didn't get one, but I watched in envy as my friends and other family members got a Dreamcast, and I remember like watching. I'm not a sports fan. I don't follow sports really. I don't follow sports at all, actually. But I remember seeing, I think it was Madden on the Dreamcast, and just being in all the graphics of it. Like, it's fun to look back now, and I would love to find the game that I was so blown away by. But like when I saw that footage back in the day, I knew it wasn't real, but a part of me was like, could I be convinced that this was real? It looks convincing. Again, I'm sure if I saw the footage of whatever it was I was impressed by back then, I would be laughing to myself and thinking I was very easily convinced with such mediocrity by today's standards. But yeah, I was really sad actually when the Dreamcast got discontinued, because I felt like I was going to get one eventually, and then it got discontinued, and I think I felt some blame on my part. Like, if I'd only tried to get one more, sooner, then maybe it would have been the support they needed to, I'm sure I'm not the only one who felt that way. But I am just working on adding a very quick placement head for Eddie, just because I want to see like what that would even look like. I don't even know. I don't even know. Yeah, so I was kind of bummed out. I didn't get to get in on the Dreamcast, and I did play Dreamcast games, you know, at friends' houses and stuff like that. I remember really wanting to play. I think it was called Knights. It was like a Dreamcast original IP or Sega original IP. Is it called Nights Beyond Dreams or something like that? I forget where it is, but they even made a special Christmas edition game. I think it was like free. I remember going to Blockbuster and seeing it there and being like, oh, I need to play this. I need to play it now. Sorry, I'm just pausing for a second while I look at the placement of this. It was even like, I don't feel the need to make this look like a Tom Hardy, you know, character. This is very much a Not Real Toys, you know, original interpretation of the character based on comic book and other various interpretations, kind of melded into our own, you know, vision for Venom. You know, like what would Venom look like if Marvel hired Not Real Toys to do a 3D sculpt? Hit me up, Marvel. Yeah, right. Not yet. Okay, add a neck to him. I lost track of what I was saying, but anyway, yeah. So I picked up a Dreamcast when I was in my early 20s, and I played a little bit of Shenmue on it. That was one game that I was also very much blown away by. I remember looking at the graphics for it. I think what it was is that like back then, like I had never seen wrinkles like on a character before. You know, it was very, you know, new to me, seeing such detail present and emotion conveyed. And I'm sure there was characters before the Dreamcast that had like a full set of like, you know, tangible fingers, you know, and like moving and whatnot, but it was very rare. So like I remember seeing Shenmue, and I'm pretty sure the characters had like, you know, the fully fleshed out, you know, moving digits. Um, it was cool. It felt like the future, and it was. It just wasn't Sega's long term future. It was Sony and uh, Nintendo. Okay, but yeah, I'm excited to dive into some of that. Unfortunately, my copy of Shenmue is kind of busted. I bought it, you know, used, and I think the first disc works, but up to a certain point, and then it basically starts skipping, which is such a bummer. So I never got to actually beat Shenmue. I play a lot of Sonic Adventure. Fun fact: my first console I ever bought, which I bought at the young age of 14, I think. I got a job at McDonald's because I really wanted to get the new Resident Evil on the GameCube, and I got it with my first paycheck, and it's still a story that I'm kind of proud of, you know, myself, because I really wanted it. I went out and got it with my first paycheck. It was a stupid, you know, like it wasn't something like, you know, that was a very adult, you know, like let me get that money so I can buy a game console, you know. But for me back then, it was really cool to be able to buy something so expensive like pretty quickly after starting a job. But then I kept working. And then I had a lot less time to play games, but games then became a much more needed escape as I kept working and moved to different places and got new jobs, and the monotony of working, I have a hard time saying that word, you know, started to wear on my soul more. By age 16, I was a grizzled old man in my soul, you know. Yeah, I played the heck out of the GameCube. Sonic Adventure 2 on it. I even used to just sit there and put the soundtrack on when I was doing other stuff in my room for Sonic Adventure 2. I don't know. I guess it just slapped back then, you know? Okay. I say I'm just going to put a placeholder face in here, but like, you know. Okay. I think Eddie Brock should have like a thick jaw. I feel like he was always more of a bulkier character in the comics, you know? It always reminded me a bit of like a Flash Gordon. Kind of a arch... Not Flash Gordon, Jesus. That's not the right character I meant at all. Flash Thompson? Is it Flash Thompson? Let me look it up. Flash Thompson. Yeah, Flash Thompson. Okay. Before whatever he, I'm sure, turns into, I'm sure that he also has an arc where he gains superpowers, because you cannot be in a superhero comic book series for, 40 whatever plus years and not eventually inherit some kind of superpower. Everyone gets one. I remember thinking that when I used to watch the show Heroes. Eventually, everyone in that show, no matter how small or significant their storyline was, if they didn't have powers, they eventually got them, and it sort of took the magic away from it. Like, it was cool to see certain characters get powers who had traditionally not had powers, but it definitely made the other characters who had them feel not as cool. Like, oh well, if anyone can get them, then like it's not that big of a deal that like Hero can teleport in time, or cheerleader over there can heal herself. Okay. Back is a little stiff today. I feel like every time I do this stream, my back is stiff, but like up until leading to that to the stream, I feel fine. I'm like, feel good. It's gonna be a good stream. As soon as I start streaming, like, oh, my back. Okay. So that's kind of a look for the head. Let me move that down. Move that down. I'm gonna put... Oh, crap. I hate when it does that. Ah! Moving stuff around in and out of folders and ZBrush is sometimes a real pain in the ass. Okay. So I'm gonna put the head, Eddie's head, into his own folder for safekeeping. Just put him there. This is a very bad sculpt so far, by the way. Like, it's just very plain. Okay, maybe you need to go down more. Like, I guess I'm trying to see what the right... I mean, I guess if I'm doing a variant, then like, I don't need to have the bottom jaw in the exact position. I can work with it a little bit, change it up a bit, so I probably don't need to worry about that right now. I think his head could be a little bit bigger too. Yeah, kind of like that. Okay. I'm digging that. Let me just add some eyeballs in here because I want to see it. I want to see it. Keep the groups in there. Turn that Dynamesh up. I hate when it does that. I don't know why, but it's like not letting me Dynamesh it correctly. Okay. Let's ZBrush instead. When in doubt, ZBrush. See how that turns out. I really like how it made these like very circly. I've been thinking about doing switching up my style a little bit, experimenting with some stuff I've been seeing in my head that I want to go with. I had this kind of irrational fear of changing up my style too much, and I say it's irrational because at this point in the game, um, you know, I'm not. I don't have a huge following. I don't. You know, have a lot of people that could look at my work and say like, oh, I think Rob did that piece. So it doesn't really matter, if I'm still experimenting with the different styles and whatnot, and finding that I like a certain way of working, a certain style of creating my work in. It's a good time to experiment. Is what I'm saying. Okay. Sorry if I crack my back a lot. Like I said, it's a little sore. Let me trim that, and then I'm going to bring out oops, shit. Bring down this eye. Oh my god, I'm totally forgetting the name of this. Oh my god. The reason I might be a little off on this stream is because I have not been getting the best sleep the last 2 nights. My daughter, unfortunately, has not been getting great sleep. We think she might be going through a little bit of a growth spurt. So I've been up with her. I think my brain's a little behind today. But I'd rather be here and doing this stream at like 70% than skipping out and saying, tonight's not the best night. Because even this would be it's a learning experience. Doing this, figuring out a good way, like, I'm not going to be on 100%, every time. So I think figuring out a good flow for, nights that a little more chill. And again, I think the answer to that is really finding a way to get some music in here. I need to do that. I really just want to take off some time and spend like a week just getting the stream together, getting the whole studio space together. I might do that. Right now it's not the best time, but maybe in a couple weeks I'll schedule that time. We got Carhard Gaming coming up, so maybe when he's here we can work on that together. What is going on with this Dynameshes? There we go. Okay. It's not working for me. Oof. Bring that way down. Looks silly. Okay. I said it would be just a quick sculpt, guys, okay? Totally not overdoing it right now with the Eddie sculpt. Okay, let's get some eyes on that. Oh snap, I don't think I knew this an eye texture in ZBrush. How did I not know that existed? Wow. I did not know that was I'm pretty sure, yeah. This has got to be part of ZBrush. Look at this one. Ooh. That would actually be cool to give him like some orange eyes, you know? I'll do that real quick. Ooh. That's not good. Okay, didn't look like that before. Let's go back to 0. Maybe that's why. Yeah. I'm just gonna import my own. I like that. That's really cool that that's in there. But it's not quite the style I'm looking for, and if it's not what I'm looking for, it's gonna throw me off if I apply it. Like I'll just get distracted the whole time looking at it. Like, oh, I gotta change that. I gotta change that. Let me also bring this eyelid down a bit. Eyelid. That's the word I was looking for. Eyelid. It escaped me earlier. Okay. Oop, get out of there. Get out of there. There's this crazy, weird indie alien invasion film, and the guy in it, my wife and I can never remember the name of the movie, but it's basically like these fuzzy aliens that have like these little suckers that pop out and let them attach to things and fly over. Well, they're invading Earth, and this couple in the woods are going on a off the grid type of retreat / vacation. They're trying to disconnect, so they don't know the alien invasion's happening. In the movie, the main guy, he sleep yells, and he basically said, when they show a scene where he's sleep yelling, he commonly says, "Get out of here! Get out!" He says it in like this really kind of like, in a sense, drunken, half asleep, like, "Get out of here!" It was probably one of the funniest parts of the movie the first time it happened, and then even funnier when they bring it up again, or when they show it again. Anyway, so my wife and I reference that, that movie when we say something that feels appropriately belong. When my wife and I say, something happens where we feel it's appropriate to say, "Get out of here." Ugh. Got tongue tied. And so Rosie, our daughter, heard it, and it's been one of the things that she's picked up on lately, and it's been really cute. So we've been trying to get her to say "get out of here" a lot, because anytime your kid says something along the line, that is close to what you've said, or they're mimicking you, it's like the coolest thing ever, and you like want to keep making them, or getting to do it, so you can show other people and record it and cherish it. So it's also just really cute that she's saying "get out of here," "Get out of here." We'll say it, and then she'll say it, and it's just awesome. He looks a little sleepy-eyed. Let me bring that eye up. Digging that. Maybe a little more, bring that in a little bit more. Because that eyelid on the bottom is getting cut off just a little bit too much. Oh, you know what? Not this very second, but I've been working on something cool in ZBrush and in Blender. I try not to work on the stuff that I'm sculpting so much outside of the stream, because I don't want there to be like a huge jump from someone who's tuned in the previous episode or the previous stream to now, and seeing a bunch of like updates that like, whoa, when did all that happen? What did I miss? How did you do that? So I think the only thing I really changed about Venom was I just made his feet bigger because his feet were so tiny. I realized it didn't. For one, it probably wouldn't print as well and stand up on its own, but also like it didn't look as good. So I made them bigger. I think that's really. I might have played with the eyes a little bit, but I saved everything else for the stream. So in terms of 3D stuff I've been doing outside the stream, I've had a small project that I've been working on that has been turning out pretty good, and it's something that is for the stream, but not for like it's something to help enhance the streaming experience for you guys. So you'll be seeing it soon, but I'll show you a preview here in a couple minutes. I just want to get to a solid place with this. Speaking of which, let me save. Doing that, I'm going to actually queue it up. Okay. All right, it's queued up over there. Let me just do a little more work on this. Flatten out this side. His head's a little bulbous, which is not quite the look I want for him. Whoa, not that either. Okay. All right, let me add the irises, and then I'll move on from this part because I am clearly zoning in on it too much. I don't want to get completely sidetracked here. So I need to import the default eye texture that I made in Photoshop. Where is that at? That's weird. I didn't know I could. Oops. So dark. He's got huge eyes, but I kind of like it. I need to add some eyebrows to him too, real quick. Real quick. Let me just do it. Hold on. I have no chill when it comes to this. It's like if I want to do something, I just like I know I shouldn't, but I really want to do it. But it's good. I'm very much a believer in going where your energy tells you to go, because if you force yourself to do something you shouldn't, unless it's like working out, not if you force yourself to do something you don't want to do, not that you shouldn't, unless it's like working out or something, to the betterment of your, health, it's probably not the best time to do it. Unless it's like your job and you need to pay the bills, and yeah, you should probably go do that. But when it comes to your own, what you're looking to do, if you're, got your head on straight, you're not really dealing with any, anything going on in terms of like anxiety or depression or something like that, where it's a bigger, complicated thing. Yeah, if you feel like you're just not feeling a creative vibe that night, then just chill. Go watch a movie or something. Allow your brain to decompress. It's what your brain's telling you to do. Because there's going to be times where you really want to, work on something. Like I really just want to sit down and make something. But I was going to watch that movie tonight. No, don't watch that movie tonight. Go make something. Because it's going to feel so good to sit down and make that thing. And it's true. I've done it. I've had times where I thought I was going to go home after work and really work on something because I was thinking about it. But then the day just drained the life out of me. And, I forced myself to do it. Still, I forced myself to go home and work on that thing, that project. I'm saying this has happened multiple times. I'm just saying project, as an, abstract idea. But yeah, I've forced myself to go home and work on a project that I thought I wanted to work on. And then I work on it for hours and it doesn't turn out the way I wanted to because my energy just wasn't there. My brain wasn't in it. My heart wasn't in it. And then I'm frustrated because it didn't turn out as well as I wanted it to, and I've basically wasted time that I could have used to decompress and really recharge myself. Um, Whereas if I just went home and watched a movie, gave myself a little bit of mental breathing time, and then came back to it later, when I was really feeling it, when I really felt like I had the mental energy for it, it would have been better. And I think the harder part is knowing when it's a good time to work on stuff and even cancel. Maybe you had a plan to go out and do something social with a group of friends. Well, if you're really feeling like working and it's really not to the detriment of the group that you don't show up, then just tell them, like, hey, like, I'll catch you guys next time. You guys are, everyone's going to the bar. Yeah, I know I said, I might show up, but, I really want to go home and work on, this project. I've just really, it's where my energy is. I really want to work on it. I have the energy to do it. It's just a good time for me now. I'll catch you next time. And, maybe you'll get some peer pressure or whatever to still come out, but go work on that thing because it's all on you. It's all on you to get it done. Okay. Got some eyebrows in here. I feel like Eddie Brock's hair is traditionally yellow. I guess it could be whatever I want it to be, but I am feeling a little more of like traditional comic vibe than maybe like movie vibe, where like Tom Hardy has brown hair and Topher Grace has brown hair. I feel bad for Topher Grace. I feel like he was definitely miscast in the role as Venom, but I can see myself being in his shoes, and someone offering me, the role as Venom in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3. Like, Spider-Man 2 was huge. It's still regarded as one of the best superhero movies ever made, and it certainly did pave a way for the mainstream to recognize comic book movies as being like a legitimate good genre for movies and stories to be told in. So yeah, he made the right decision joining it, but he was miscast. The role was poorly written. I don't even really look at that character as Venom. Like, every time I've chosen to revisit that movie, which I do every now and then, just because I think I'm drawn into bad movies. It's like, I'm not gonna say it's like watching a car wreck. That's a very cliche, silly thing to say. Car wrecks are horrific. But yeah, it's just fascinating to watch something be bad that in some ways you can very much understand, like, this is so bad for this specific reason, and it's so interesting to me that they went in this direction. It's like watching a bad movie is trying to figure out the puzzle of whoever, the mind of whoever made it. Like, what were they? I don't mean to say this in a mean way whatsoever, but it's like, you watch it and it's like, what were they thinking? Like, what do you think they were trying to achieve with this? Do you think that in their mind it looked a lot better? It just, the means to execute it was just completely different in their head. Like, that certainly is the case for some directors. That's why they had that fake director name that some directors used to use, because the film that they had planned and claimed that they had every intention to create is not the one that came out on screen, and either due to the studios mishandling of it and they're making their own edits to it, maybe it doesn't happen. But I don't know, it's just interesting to me to see bad movies, especially bad big budget movies. And I'm not talking about like Roland Emmerich, Day the Earth Stood Still type stuff like that, which I shouldn't have used that movie. More like 2012. That movie's crazy dumb. I'm talking about like movies that like Spider-Man 3. Like, they had way too many villains in it. They weren't fleshed out. They put Peter Parker into this weird, crazy, character arc that takes them to a place I feel like they had no business doing in the third movie. I don't know. Save that for the fourth or fifth or something. I don't know. Yeah, like symbiote suit aside, like the whole dark Peter Parker thing was just did not work. I think it was Tobey Maguire. Like it just didn't come off good. It was really cheesy and really not good. Yeah, so I'm going to do yellow, by the way, because I looked up a picture of his hair, and it is traditionally yellow, although now I have to find the proper yellow color for it. Anyway, call me rambling again. Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested in bad movies because there's such a large group of people that create every one of these, giant productions, and so many voices that are, talking back and forth to each other, about how to move forward with a particular direction, that it's kind of amazing. It's amazing when a great movie gets made. It's amazing when a good movie gets made. It's also very interesting when a bad movie gets made. There's a whole podcast on it that's really good called How Did This Get Made? And sometimes they go into the detail about what actually happened behind the scenes, and it often is a fascinating story. Yeah. I guess that's like a silver lining to bad movies. Like sometimes a bad movie has a really good story behind that. And I guess nothing is, says that's more true than the movie The Room, which then led to the movie The Disaster Artist, which James Franco aside, I thought like James Franco's whole background aside is what I mean, was an interesting take on the whole behind the scenes story of that classically cult classic terrible movie, The Room. I did see that movie many, many years ago, and I was indeed shocked how bad it was. It's an experience to see it. You have to see it in a group. If you haven't seen it already, go see The Room, but make sure you see it with someone who will also you think enjoys bad movies, because it is not a movie for people who don't want to spend their time watching bad movies. I don't fault those people. Life on Earth is short enough. If you don't want to watch bad movies, certainly do not spend your time watching them. Okay, I have a very wide-eyed Eddie Brock right now. Shoot. Let's go ahead and do those eyes again. I think I want to go into Photoshop real quick and just mess with the iris, because I want to do his eyes like kind of a natural color, not red. I'm thinking orange. I think it would just look cool and make him look a little more kind of like fused with a Venom. Not that like Venom has orange eyes, but I think it would just give him like a nice kind of like monstrous, underlook. Okay, let me save this, and then before I jump into Photoshop, I will show that thing that I was hinting at and keeping hush secret for no reason. Let's get this stream ready for that. Okay. So this that I'm about to show you is kind of a work in progress. I don't have to show it right now, but I thought it'd be fun to show the process. This is a stream about, mostly sculpting stuff in 3D and the whole 3D, process for character portraits and beyond. And this is a 3D project I'm working on that is going to be what I think an intro or, kind of title card for the stream. Over the past couple nights, I've worked on the Not Real Toys mascot, which I unofficially call Nert right now, just because I thought Nert sound cool, and it's basically Not Real Toys, Nert. So it's Nert, by the way, is, I get questions sometimes about what Nert is. Nert really isn't anything. It's in my head, he, they, she, whatever it is. It's a alien-like blob that maybe has intense psychic, crazy powers, and is almost like omnipotent, godlike. Can do whatever he wants because they want, because they're not real. So we can make them whatever they want. And if they are the demigod of the stream and come in and control the transitions, basically, I think that's what we're gonna be using Nert for. Um, then let's do it in a cool way. So let me switch over here to intro test. Okay. So this is it's really quick, by the way. Let me just show it to you. This is I modeled Nert in ZBrush, and then I brought him over to Blender, and I was playing with different materials and stuff. If you follow me on Instagram on Not Real Toys, you might have seen me post yesterday or the day before the first look of Nert in 3D. Okay, here it is. Like, again, very quick. And that is it. It's a quick transition. I played with it in After Effects where Nert comes in, and at this part in After Effects where the screen whites out, we have the Not Real Toys logo coming in. But I don't think I'm going to stick with that. I actually really like the intro of this, but I think at this point where he kind of has like a psychic, like, like freak out and everything whites out, I think we're going to fade in maybe to another scene, and we're going to make this intro a little bit longer. But yeah, it's really, really cool for me, and I hope anyone else watching, to see Nert in 3D. I mean, this is a stream about making stuff in 3D, making characters in 3D. Like, Nert needs to be in 3D. We need to get Nert in 3D and have him, come into the stream and do funny, cool things. And so this is the start of that. And I hope to show more and more updates, on this as we go on. It's probably going to be a few more weeks before we start seeing the work of this actually show up on the stream. Like I said, I'm still experimenting right now with Streamlabs and setting that up so we can have a more customized, detailed, experience with the stream. Right now, I'm using Twitch Studio, which I was actually just talking to one of my friends, Alex, who runs livestream./frag. Go visit that, by the way, and follow that. But yeah, talking to him about, kind of, using Streamlabs versus Twitch Studio. And, I was just telling him that I know I'm going to use Streamlabs, but in order to get the stream off the ground, first, I really need something a little more simple in terms of getting things set up quickly and giving me also the creative control that I wanted over the stream. So Twitch Studio was the right choice for that. I really do like it, although today I got a little scared because I booted it up just to make sure that, everything was working fine. I just like to, poke it and make sure that, hey, okay, this is all good. I'm glad I did, because when I started the Twitch Studio app earlier, I think it was like this morning before I even started work, it was offline. And I thought for a second, like, does this have to do with the whole Facebook being down thing? But it wasn't. It was something else. But anyway, I guess, since I believe that Twitch Studio streams to the cloud and then is sent to Twitch, the actual live streaming page, and that's how they are able to have a smoother streaming experience. I think Streamlabs does a similar thing, whereas I think OBS does all the compiling on your computer and then sends a finished product to the stream. Anyway, but I think something was down with their whole cloud compiling whatever infrastructure, so it did freak me out a little bit, because I was like, oh, it'd really suck if this is our third official stream. For the third stream, we couldn't stream today because it was down. Like, that would be such a bummer. I'd use the time to work on this guy a bit, but yeah, I'm glad. It's really cool to show this. It was really fun to work on. I'm really excited to work on what's next for it. I have an idea that, like, after this fade out, that it fades in and it's Nert running, across the ground, and maybe he's, chomping on things or beating things up along the path are relevant to the stream in some way. We'll see. I think it's going to be fun, a little video gamey, because we are going to bring video games onto the stream. But yeah, it's going to be a cool process, and I'll certainly keep you guys informed and tuned in along the way. So let's close that and bring it back to ZBrush. Okay. Carhartt Gaming is messaging me off stream? How dare you? Oh, okay. All right. You know what? We were going to open Photoshop and work on the iris real quick. So let me open that up. Bring you over to the chat just so you can see all the mess still. Yeah, I got a new HD streaming cable for the Dreamcast. I'm very hyped to use that. I live in the greater Philadelphia area, Bucks County area, and there is a cool little retro game shop called CGR Games. And I feel very fortunate to be living within driving distance of them recently, because I've been able to go over and pick up some really cool stuff for some of the old games and consoles that I've been wanting to bring back online for the stream. Like I got some memory cards for the GameCube, so it was just cool to be like, oh, I'm gonna try and get all this old stuff that I used to be really into and revisit for the stream. And like, oh, there's this shop that just specializes in selling that type of equipment. Like, I know they exist. You used to be able to go to GameStop and get some old stuff, but like this is like a specialty store. Like they have all the cords and all the cables and stuff. Very cool shop too. Like a little boutique when you go in. But if you're in the Bucks County area, go visit CGR Games. They're in Doylestown. Okay, we got Photoshop open. Let me open up that I file. It is, let me see here. Iris overlay, that's not it. Okay. Let's move it over to Photoshop. Okay. So yeah, I wanted to, I made this iris file because, as I do different characters, I want to quickly apply an iris, for look development. But I also want it to look good, because if I just do a plain black iris or plain color iris, like it doesn't. The eyes are very, very important. It very much, gives your character a very interesting look and feel that that is like if they have tiny irises or big irises, or if they have very bright irises, or their pupils very big, or it really changes a lot about the character when you apply this. So I created a Photoshop file where I could basically go in and change different settings within the file, and it would, as you can see here, give the eye different color values here. It's a very simple file, but allows me basically to go in, give the eye a look that I'm looking for. I can even go up to here, give it a little more of an intense vibrancy. Vibrancy. I don't think vibrancy is a word. We'll see. I saw the nastiest spider outside yesterday, by the way, and now that I'm working in the attic, I'm waiting for one just to like come down midstream on me, and then for me to like have an epic freak out on stream, and then immediately close the stream, burn it, the stream and the spider, and retire from the internet. Okay, So, like I said, I want to have him. I want to give him like a very. I keep thinking about like The Witcher because The Witcher has very like bright, yellow eyes, something along those lines. But I don't know. Is that? I guess that orange is pretty close to unnatural. Maybe like that. I don't want it to be like too crazy bright, but also I do want the color to be somewhat inhuman looking. Okay, we got that. We got that. I just turned that off now because I wind up just not needing it. Let me just see what the other settings in here are real quick. So that's that. Let's just export that. You know what? I'm gonna actually start building a iris folder. I'm so zoomed out. Let me zoom back in for you guys. Sorry. Okay, let's export it. Irises. Iris. We're gonna call it yellow orange because it's kind of in the middle there. Okay. So now we switch it back over to ZBrush. This is an example of like why it would be better, I think, to use Streamlabs, because switching between the two programs really should just be like a button on my Stream Deck here. You can't see it. I have a Stream Deck, but I really don't get to utilize it too much because, again, it's like a whole rabbit hole. I'm learning. We're learning together. But yeah, switching between screens should be a little more effortless than me going into Twitch Studio here and switching it. And I probably can do that, but I've done a bit of exploring in Twitch Studio so far, and I have not found that to be a quick option to set up. Okay, I'm looking for the iris that I just saved. So many folders. I gotta switch over to it, and there we go. Except for I applied it upside down. And you know what? These eyes are really low resolution, so let's just bump it up. Man, this Dynamesh is like giving me a hard time. I guess I'm scaled out really a lot. There we go. I look how it kind of like, ooh, I don't like it. So something like that. Oh, look, even creepier, like a little Pennywise almost. Like if I do it like this, and then this one's like right in the middle, like very Pennywise, right? A little more towards the center because he is looking down, so you want to have the eyes a little. There you go, something like that. Okay. All right. I spent a lot of time on this, so of course, let me just do one more thing. I am really bad at winking. Okay. We're going to extract the top eyelash. Always looks so bad. Okay. Dynamesh that fool. He's got to have really thin eyelash line because I've already made his eyelid pretty thin, so I'm wondering if I should do a bottom one. The question is not. The question is, will it look good? I should do it regardless, just to see. There's no point in guessing. Might as well just do it. Find out after. Ugh, that's a dirty extract right there. I knew that was going to be gross. Okay. Whatever. Ooh. Okay. Ooh, there we go again. Zoomed out too far, making moves that are just targeting too much of the mesh. Okay. It's looking better. All right. Well, I can't say that I love it. I think the eyebrows suck. But, you know, I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it anyway, and here I am, like an hour 20 into the stream. haven't really touched much on this aside from adding Eddie Brock's face to it. So get rid of that. Just wanted, his nose is like bothering me too, so I need to handle that, so to speak. I want to give him like a big ugly nose, like just like really kind of, you know, busted. But I think along with that, we need to give him a bit of a. Let me close off these eyebrows real quick. A bit of like a caveman, you know, forehead protrude right there. I don't mean like ugly, like a big old ball. Just like really boxy. I think modeling the nose is one of my favorite parts. I think the reason is, for me, it's one place that I find a lot of fun in experimenting with the character, you know, and just seeing how the look changes based on, you know, what the nose looks like. This isn't quite what I wanted. Oops. That's really fun to experiment with. Just see how it turns out. Like, wouldn't it be cool right now just to kind of give him a little bit of a, oops, like a line across the nose, like almost like it was broken or something, you know? I just totally fucked that up. Bring down that lazy mouse a little bit, a little too hard. Ooh, I shouldn't have done that. Let me go ahead and bring that back in. Definitely too big. Bring it a little bit more. I think the bridge needs to come out more is what it is. Yeah. But then also start to fold in a little bit. There we go. would really help if I added ears and hair and stuff, because right now it just looks like some just generic looking dude, right? So I really don't need the nostrils. Okay. Ah, Voldemort looking. Bring that out a bit, since the upper lip typically shoots out. I give him more of a jaw too, but really not going to see much of that, since Venom's jaw is going to be showing up more. Whoa, that looks weird. It looks a little who looking. Whew. That looked awful. I'm just gonna. Now he looks like Deadpool from Wolverine Origins. Oh my god. Terrible. Terrible. Let's leave him like that, because yeah, I don't need to keep working on this. All right. Oh, ZBrush is saving for me. Thank you, ZBrush. Okay, let me clear that out. I hide Eddie's head. And then let's go back up to Venom's head, since that's what I should be focused on. Gums, tongue, upper teeth. Okay. Ooh, just poked myself in the eye. Close that. All right, so let's work on. I could do the eyes, but I think it would be better to do the jaw and then the gums, because that might change the actual shape of the face. If I decide that for some reason the gums and the bottom jaw need to shift just a little bit more to get the character a little more character, give the character a little more character. I don't want to have worked on the eyes a lot and then realize I need to start over with that, because the shape of the character's head has now changed significantly. All right, so let's move that out there. I still want to keep the gums pretty thick, so while I move them out, I'm going to make them thicker on the inside there. Okay. Oh, see how I can... It's hard to see. Let me just turn off the top row. Like that guy right there is coming out a bit, and I don't need that. I can also just go in there and clip that tooth out. But I did want to give him thicker gums, so. Okay. That should really go in a little bit more right there. Yeah. Okay. So Actually, I need to move that gum down a little bit. That gum line. And then I need to see, I have never spent a lot of time modeling teeth coming out of gums. You know, it's not something that often pops up in my character sculpt. So I'm going to try a little bit of an experiment right here where I just see what it looks like, but it might not work. So this is experimentation time. Add that right there. Okay. Not hating it so far, although I do think I need to remesh the bottom gums here because it's looking a little low. Man, I don't know what is going up with this. I must have something set up weird because this Dynamesh is not. I think it was my sub-projection level was brought down accidentally. I almost never touch that, so if it gets altered, I don't notice right away. I can add a little bit of some dents in there. This is something that I could spend probably a whole stream doing, and then you know, you may never even notice it, or rather you'll never actively notice it. It'll be something that your brain sees, but you know, more in the subconscious. It'll be like, oh, that it's one of those small details that I feel like would really make a difference to me if I was to compare it with or without it. But I think to the viewer, not so much, but it does enhance the overall look of it. So it's one of those tiny details. Tiny details matter. They really do transform a project. Okay. So I like that, but I feel like you need some more. I don't know, like like some dents around it. Like it's too smooth around it. It's got to be. That's what it was. It has to look like the tooth is going down, not just protruding, but also going down through the gums. So wherever between the gums are, between the teeth, that should be a little more like shallow and unfilled looking. Something a little more like that. Might be a little too detailed for a stylized sculpt, but just go ahead and add more detail to the actual tooth area itself. Ooh. Okay. You know what I forgot to do so far? I forgot to do the free sticker shout out. So, let me see. Can you see it here? There you go. If you're watching, if you're following the stream, or rather, if you have followed the stream before or you followed today, email me at hello@notrealtoys.com and make sure to include your Twitch username that you followed this stream on, your real name, and your address, and I will mail you 3 stickers of the Not Real Toys Nerd mascot. They're metallic. They're really nice quality. I think they're like UV protected. It's just something that I got a bunch of awesome stickers from Sticker Mule. I love them. I give them to a bunch of people. They love them. They put them on like water bottles and stuff. I have a one wheel. I put one on my one wheel. So if you're supporting the stream, I want to give you a sticker because I really appreciate it. And I have a lot to give away. So let's do a little promo, a little giveaway. Give me a follow. I'll give you some stickers. just make sure to email me, hello@notrealtoys.com, your username, your real name. I need your real name. That way I can actually put a name on the envelope of who I'm mailing it to, and your address, of course. Though I'm curious if I could like mail. I guess you probably could use someone's like username as the send to name on an envelope. I have no clue. You probably could, right? I mean, if you just put a business name or like, you know, to whomever may be named, or to whomever is using the username, you know, Sword Legend 32. Okay. Just add like some dimples right in here. All right. So we're going to be adding, you know, details like this across the board when it comes to this character. Like right now, he's very smooth. He's a very smooth boy. Like the tongue and stuff like that. Like I want to add a lot of those details to it. It's going to be a little bit of I don't know. It's finding a right balance for this is going to be a little challenging because I do, you know, my intention is to have it be stylized, but you know, have a very stylized look to it. And adding detail, you know, in stylized sculpts can be challenging because it can sometimes very much throw off the stylized aesthetic. So, but yeah, I think for the gums, they're a little more stylized than I had saw in my mind, but I think that's good because when I take this into Blender and I add a nice like subsurface material to it, I think we're gonna lose some of the hard shadows that we're seeing here, but the actual protrusion and the morphing that I've been doing here, or rather the sculpt I've been doing here, is still going to stand out, and that's what's going to be important for the look of his mouth. I almost forgot I had to do the whole top part, the whole top gum area. Okay. Just gonna put a line on all those. You know, I saw someone talk about on, I think it was on Polygon.com today. Polygon.com. How they're mad that Carnage in the new Venom movie that just came out last week, which I have not seen. I'm waiting to see it. I will see it in, I think, next week sometime. I have a tentative movie scheduled time to go see it. But I've not seen it. Anyway, I saw someone was upset that Carnage had a tongue in the new Venom movie. I guess traditionally he hasn't had a tongue, and then it was crazy to think about. But then I went back and I looked at a bunch of images of Carnage, and like, yeah, he's not just a carbon copy, you know, red carbon. You know, he's not the Street Fighter one. You know, select the same character, change the color, you know, hue on it, ship it. You know, character that I honestly. That's how I kind of remembered him as, you know, just like being like Venom, but skinnier and with more, I don't know, symbiote axes or something. I just always remember he had like a hammerhead looking scythe. I don't know what you call it, axe thingy. But yeah, then I looked at the old comic book images of him on covers and whatnot, and I was surprised to be like, wow, my brain really just kind of put that in there. And I have to wonder if the directors did the same thing, you know? I am sure that they looked at a lot of comic imagery of Carnage and, you know, decided to make that a creative choice. But it is interesting. It is interesting that they add that detail to him. Because the tongue is much more of Venom's thing than any other characters. But I guess they wanted to make it seem like he's like Venom but stronger. So same alien species, why not give him a tongue? Maybe it would have been weird to not give him a tongue, because you're like, wait, how come that guy's faces? But that's silly. This is a movie about, you know, giant gooey aliens taking over, and it's like a buddy alien goofy space cop film almost. Not space cop, I'm like space bounty hunter. I don't know. Okay. I need to do the top gum a little bit more. Move that out. Ooh. You know what? We should shut off the rest of the body right now, because I'm going to have to get under the camera here, and it's going to be really annoying if there's a bunch of stuff in the way. I'm going to put this in a folder called Props. Props Eddie. Turn that off. Okay, back up to head. Turn the tongue off. Move that gum out more. This is exactly what I was talking about, by the way. How if I was messing with the gums, that the face might change a little bit. Here I am already moving it. You know what? Now that I think about it, I want to add a little bit of a lip line here to Venom. He has it in the movie, he has it in some of the comics, and I kind of dig it. Ooh. I'm going to bring that Dynamesh all the way down. All the way back down and get rid of the eyes. There we go. I just don't need it right now, and it's getting in the way. Ooh, very xenomorph looking. Bring the Dynamesh back up. Okay. Let's see. It feels weird not to see the eyes now. It does. It really feels weird. Let me go ahead and, because I don't want to permanently add the eyes back in, but at the same time, it does throw me off not to see them. So I think, let me just go ahead and create the eyes as an extraction, and that way I can kind of keep them there, and but then turn them off if I don't want to see them. This is going to be a bit of a process right here to finalize the eyes and the shape of the head. So let's keep it flexible. And let's also save, you know? Yeah, let's save. Okay. We are at 1:40. It's 9 o'clock. I think do about another 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'll take a bathroom break. Maybe refill my water a little bit. Ooh, that's too big. Let me bring it down to 0.005 rather. That is acceptable. Okay. I'm just gonna smooth it out. Smooth it out. You know what I was worried about, and I should knock on every piece of wood that I have right now. that for some reason doing sculpting on stream would somehow take like the magic away. Like it would be weird or something, or I wouldn't look forward to it as much. But as soon as I jump into it here, feels good. Feels like the same as when I do it downstairs, you know, and outside of this space, or when I'm in bed doing it. In bed sculpting. That's what I meant. Okay. I get so distracted so easily. Like, oh, I'll just do a quick extraction of the eyes just to have them. 20 minutes later. Still working on the eyes. Okay. That is fine. You know what? I think I actually like the eyes being above the surface anyway, because I had messed with that, as you saw earlier when I remeshed it and basically smoothed out the eyes to being not there anymore. Yeah, I think it looks better with the eyes being on its own layer. It's going to give me a little more control anyway, and I don't have to worry about messing with the skull / top half of the head mesh. We're going to get funky here. Okay. Kind of like this shape. I just did this real quick to, you know, get it out there and get it made, and then move back onto the teeth. But I think I'm messing with it so much because I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Okay. Need to smooth that out a little bit. I'm just going to remesh. Or rather, put through the Z-mesher. ZBrush, that is. Just divide that up. See how that looks. Alright, so this is the area that's giving me trouble. Move that back down, delete higher. All right. I don't want to get lost in the weeds too much on the eyes. Although playing with this has given me some idea about like how maybe the eyes could be a little more kind of fused in. Maybe I'll add some overlap with like little black bits of symbiote kind of digging into the eyes and vice versa. Like it's almost like the eyes, the white part and the black part are kind of like sewn together, or you know, kind of like ripped together. It's very unique. I don't know if the word physiology is the right word, but you know, Venom's body does not work anything like a human, so it gives some space to introduce like interesting, you know, patterns and ways that parts of his body sort of, you know, form together. Okay. Let me just bring that in, and I swear I'm moving back to the gums. Okay. And I'm going to save it one more time because I actually really like where this went. So let me just save it so I don't lose it. And then shut the whole stream down. Okay. All right. I am going to go put on a quick be right back screen and just take a quick break. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Okay. Sorry if that was a little bit longer than 5 minutes there. I wanted to go down and say goodnight to my wife. She's staying up and watching the stream while I do it, so thank you so much. I love you. Okay. Now I need to kick you out of chat for lying. We have a very strict no lying policy here in the chat, and saying I love you more. It's just it's not true, and we can't encourage that on the stream, sir. Okay. So we were working on the gums here, and let me see here. I'm going to turn off the bottom jaw, turn off the bottom gums, turn off the bottom teeth. I should really rename that folder. Bottom teeth instead of just teeth, so I can actually just turn off instead of spending a minute guessing which folder it is. Okay. Okay. So I need to bring this down a little bit. Oh yeah, sorry. I should probably bring the stream back on. Ugh. I think that's going to be a bad habit of mine because it's happened already. Thanks for the screen check on that. I appreciate that because I could have done that probably for 10 minutes without realizing it. I need to have like a little like preview of my my stream like up in like the top right just so I can see it, but at the same time I already don't like the idea of like hearing myself. I don't really want to get stuck on like watching myself also while I stream, so I guess it's just something I need to get used to, right? Oh, I had symmetry turned on. That sucks. Back it all the way up. Let me turn that up. Man, that Dynamesh is off today. I say that like it's temperamental or something. Like, oh man, Dynamesh is really acting up today. No, I just have my settings wrong. Wrong. It's not me, it's the program. Okay, there we go. Thank you for pointing it out for me. Also, Frank and Rosie, I didn't know that Frank or Rosie could type. This is quite the wow. This is a revelation for me. I have a cat named Frank and a daughter named Rosie, and seeing here for the first time on a stream that apparently they both share an account on Twitch together and they can type. Wow. Wow. We have been practicing just for the streams. I appreciate the support. I do think about like the future of this stream and, you know, like what it will look like maybe a year, 5 years, 10 years from now. And I have to say, I think one of the coolest things would be like if, you know, my daughter Rosie grows up and wants to do this with me and we can do streams together and she's doing art and I'm doing art and vice versa. We're playing games or something. Like, oh my God. I wouldn't care if we had 0 viewers still. That would be awesome. course, by the time she's like of age to do that, I'm sure like the whole streaming, I don't know, experience, the platform, whatever it is. Like I'm just thinking like 10 years from now, like what even will be the internet for her? Like I keep hearing about the new web being Web 3.0, where people are no longer using websites. They're actually earning currency for like using websites on like the blockchain or something. So it's like you won't just log on to a Facebook like social network. You'll actually earn points or like basically a form of currency online just for using the platform, because then the platform is like compiling its code and its data on your computer. So all your online experiences will be earning you and burning currency in some form, which is like cool. But then also like I don't know if I need that kind of like stress in my life to be like, oh, I would really love to go onto X app or application just to learn something or waste some time, but I don't have enough whatever the hell it is currency to use it today, and I don't feel like earning it. Like I don't need another job just to read a blog. It might get that way up just because it needs to go that way. I don't know how big data centers can keep on getting. They gotta start. Eventually, they just have to start digging down into the earth and start, putting data centers in the core of the earth. I'm sure it'd make for a really good movie. The Core 2. Be like Jeff Bezos creating like instead of a giant rocket, it's a giant like drilling machine. He's just trying to establish a deep under the crust data link, and it goes awry because they don't pay their employees well enough or something. And I should probably stick to not trashing Jeff Bezos on a Jeff Bezos operated platform. I'm not trying to kill my stream that soon. Or really ever. All right. Got those gums there. Actually, let me do this one up here a little bit more. I don't have any teeth on this side really because that's where the tongue is, and I don't really plan on not having the tongue. So I'm really glad for this part of the exercise I don't have to look at anatomy, because I don't want to go ahead and Google gums at this moment. That would be kind of gross. I'd probably see all types of like terrible gum diseases and stuff. I'm like, that's not the type of gum I was looking for. Okay. Ooh, I don't like seeing that. I'm gonna get that out of the way because I know my wife is watching and she does not like that type of stuff. Okay. It's a little too sharp on that area. Let me just go ahead and soften that up. I think it's because the gum is like sticking out right where it connects with the lip. So I think if I just, I don't know, maybe move that in a little bit more, like that. Just make it so it doesn't look like. I need to make it so that the gums don't look like they're pushing out on lip as so much as the lip covers over it. Okay. Cool. That's some teeth right there and some gums. I dig it. I think I can move on from that. Let's give it a save. of course, as soon as I save and that process ends, ZBrush comes in with the autosave. I really wish they'd give an update for that in the next ZBrush, so it doesn't do that, because that's just silly. Like, if you let ZBrush save or autosave and you don't immediately exit it, you can hit escape as soon as it starts autosaving, and that will stop the process. But if you don't do it within the first second, it's too late. You can't abort the autosave. I'm sure that's some kind of feature to keep ZBrush from not crashing, but at the same time, it does get come on, I don't need it. Should know that I don't need it to autosave immediately after I already manually saved. Come on, bruh. All right, let's bring it all back to visible. Torso. Ooh, look at that thick torso. Just keep it like that. Done. Arms, hands. We'll say it like Venom does when he's describing all the body parts. Torso, arms, hands, legs, tendrils, and props. Though apparently I don't have all the props visible right now. Well, but why? Eddie's head is there. Okay. Cool. All right, what's on the list? I'm not going to cross off redo eyes yet because I still want to play with that a little bit. Work on teeth coming out the gums. We did that. Off the list. Do variant with Eddie's head popping out. We kind of worked on that, but not yet. So fix the jawline, can add more definition to the jawline. Let's do that since we're still working on that area, the sculpt. I'm gonna go ahead and just let me first color those eyes. I'm gonna color the jaw white because it's really hard to see at the moment. Oops. What the hell? So that's his jaw. I'm actually going to go ahead and duplicate the head folder because I'm going to go a little experimental with it and mess with the jaw. I want to see what it looks like when I drag it out more. I wish everything was in one mesh at this exact moment, and only this exact moment. I guess that's all I need to see right there. Maybe we'll make it a little more square. Oh, shit. Okay. 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 I don't love it. Didn't really change anything for me in terms of likability. So I think we'll go back to the way it looked before. Excuse me. Close that. I've had Photoshop open this whole time, probably slowing down the whole process. Okay. Let's look at some Venom Inspiration real quick. I'll bring it onto the screen. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, so let's change it over to Google. Venom. Oh, Venom. If I could type character. Let's do the comic book. So what I'm looking for right now is how his jaw kind of fuses together, because Venom's jaw, his mouth, I mean, his face really is the most iconic part of the character. When you look at him, if you just take, the head away, the emblem, yeah, you would still identify it as Venom, but really you could stick another character's head on there and, it's just a muscle bound, villain, anti-hero, whatever. Like this to me is a version of Venom that, I don't know, look, he looks so different, and it's the fact that his eyes are visible, whereas traditionally, almost always traditionally, his eyes is just this giant white uh, little, I don't know, map on the face, little island on the face rather. But his mouth really historically is just kind of gone back really far. I don't see any crazy ways that it's like fused together. I mean, this is interesting. Oh, I really like this actually. I wonder who drew this. Let's check it out. Sofin Comics. Where'd it go? Oh, okay. I saw it. I thought I saw it, but I am going to. I never use Pinterest. I always just gonna download that image because I like that. It's just cool to have. Okay. What is this? I like the idea of Thanos and Venom, probably two ugliest, just messed up in the face characters getting intimate. It's like, how are you gonna kiss that? That's probably not even what's happening there. He's probably about to get like consumed by Venom, but it looks like they're totally about to make out or something. There is a scene in the first Venom movie where Venom makes out with Tom Hardy, with Eddie Brock, and it is just the most unnecessary weird scene. It just happens out of nowhere, and you're just like, okay, sure. I like this a lot. I like how the teeth are kind of showing. It might be interesting to use this as inspiration for the Eddie Brock variant. So let's check that out. I'm guessing this is fan art. Let me just save that to desktop there. Such a cool scene. I do hate how it looks a little. I mean, obviously it's CGI'd in there, but you can see a little bit how the shadow doesn't. It's a little too soft for as close as he is to everything that's causing a shadow on his face, but it is very cool looking. Very cool shot. Yes, I'm not really seeing too much. It's really up for the interpretation of the artist, which I guess, yeah, of course. I mean, look at this. That's pretty crazy looking. This almost reminds me of like Full Metal Alchemist, where like Gluttony is like in full homunculus mode. All right, let's go back to ZBrush. I always feel like I'm saying that with like a French accent. Let's go back to ZBrush. All right. And we will work on that jawline a little bit more. Let me see if I can bring that texture into the spotlight here. I found out on the last stream I had an issue where every time I brought something into the spotlight, it wouldn't let me smooth any of the mesh that was currently selected. I found out the fix for that, so I can go ahead and use Spotlight back on the stream again. So bring this guy in here. This is such a cool cover. I really like that. I love the red lighting. I love the wrinkles and everything. When I was thinking about doing Venom as a character, I really was, the challenge to my mind was, how do I make the symbiote texture of this, of the suit, or the symbiote itself present, but then also like not make it so extreme that it loses the very stylized look that I'm going after. So this is interesting. I'm not gonna go for this. Isn't gonna look as good, I feel like, on my model. So, but it is cool. I really like the coloring and the detail work here. I love how the eyes are kind of cloudy. You know, I do think I like it more when Venom's eyes are almost like the islands, the white patches of exist in. Um, yeah, it's almost like they really look like they're a part of the skin and not so much just like, you know, not so much like Spider-Man's. Because it makes it look like that, you know, it is an alien that is mimicking Spider-Man's suit in some way, but then also is very much still like, you know, can only take it so far. It's chained to its own, you know, physiology and in the way that it can form its own shapes. So let's move it over here. Type, oh, I have to apparently go over to, I forget what it was. I think it was in Brush of all places. Maybe that makes sense. And then I think it was in masking, auto masking. Nope, masking. Surface. Where the heck is it? Samples? Spotlight protection. That's what it was. I had to turn spotlight protection off. And now I can move that over. Let's see if that works. Yes, we do have the ability to smooth. Very cool. Okay. I'm not going to go to the full extreme where like the teeth are kind of like almost forming straight forward. He's not ready to chomp into the head just yet. He's still cooking and admiring his great work. Okay. I just do feel like the chin should be a little. Oh, blimey. I do feel like the chin should be a little more pointed, I think is what I'm getting stuck on. So let's give that a go. Probably not that much. It's a little. I think if I can make it a little bit of a straighter line, maybe it just needs to come out more. So I think the issue I'm having now is that it's just not a straight line with the rest of the jaw. Not a straight line, but you know, it just seems kind of disconnected from the rest of the jaw. It's interesting because this is very much, you know, a character whose, you know, anatomy is does not, you know, apply by any type of means that we're aware of in the real world, but it still bothers, you know, me when I see like, okay, that doesn't make sense in terms of like how that would look for, you know, like, is there a jawline there? Like, no, he doesn't have bones right there. Like, it's just all symbiote suit, you know. So if I turn this, yeah, it looks almost like he's wearing like a chin strap or something. So back that up a bit. I guess I liked it a little bit like that. Maybe I just gotta sharpen it up. Yeah, maybe it was just a little too extreme. I just had to bring it back in a little bit. You get this tongue out of the way. It's throwing me off. Get out of there. Okay. Yeah, I gotta bring it in a little bit. It just keeps peeking out, and I think that's just need to manage that, and it should be okay. I really want to delete the ear in this pan. Every time I see it, it gets to me, but at the same time, it's not important to do right now, and I might regret deleting it later, so I gotta keep it. Let's add a little more definition under. Because it is a jaw. Okay. Yeah, okay. Maybe we'll do that. Switch it back over to white because I'm already having a hard time seeing it. That's probably also going to be the irony of this sculpt, is that like there's going to be a lot of details that just get hidden, because I'm sure when I actually go to work on this symbiote material, like with the black kind of tarry looking material that a Venom is, there's so many details that are just going to get like lost in shadowing and whatnot. So it's cool. These are going to become 3D prints, so you know it's important. It's important to think about it from all angles. Lighten that up a bit. Okay, bring that tongue back in. And I am going to apply a little bit of detail to the bottom right now. So I don't know, it's like, yeah, I think it's bothering me a little bit that like the chin's there, but it's not quite or the mouth is there, the bottom, but it's not quite matching with the gums. It's because there's no detail. I should turn symmetry off for this because it doesn't make sense. Very cool. Digging it. All right. Let me just save that. I need to update my ZBrush because I heard there's a fix now that when you save a 3D file and then you import something from another folder, it doesn't try to save it in the last folder you're open in. It actually remembers where the 3D file you saved was at and opens that folder. There's been a bug that has been a part of my experience with ZBrush from day one. I'm sure from other people a lot longer, and it's definitely a tiny time suck that adds up. Okay, I think I should work on the eyes next, because after that, I think it might be time to start merging all the pieces together and adding some definition. Yeah. So we're about, I don't know, 75% of the way through this sculpt. I would say maybe 80% of the way if we're just looking at the standard version, not the variant. So yeah, we've been making good progress. I don't think it'll be finished on this stream, but the next stream we should be wrapping it up. So, which by the way, the next stream is on Thursday. We're doing this every Tuesday and Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And all the videos also go up on Twitch, twitch.tv/notrealtoys. I have been also uploading to YouTube. I'll be adding like the social profile links, like the whole like link tree thing, to my Twitch page, to my Instagram page. So you'll be able to find all that stuff, previous episodes and whatnot. We're getting it together. It's a process. But yeah, it's going pretty good. Yeah, give him a little more delight, right? Like, he needs to look a little more excited, which is like, you know, modeling characters' eyes to show emotions is just the tiniest little bit of like, you know, dragging, you know, an eyelid, you know, and up or down or slanted, like totally changes the expression. it's not always easy to know exactly if it's going to go in the direction you think it's going to go when you know move your shape into the position you're trying to. But I can't say I know off the top of my head how to model symbiote eyes or sculpt symbiote eyes to show positive emotion. So again, a little bit of exploration here. So bear with me. Okay. I think there needs to be a little bit of a cutout here. We're going to try it with the lasso. Oh, is there a... I didn't realize I had sub-level division on this mesh. I forgot, rather. I hate how it does that sometimes, but it's okay. That's okay. Happy accidents, apparently. That's all there is. Okay. So yeah, give a little bit of a... It just felt like there was too many breaks and, you know, little veins going up on the bottom. It was just a straight swoop. And that just didn't feel right to me. I feel like I should add one more in here, but I don't know if it's necessary to do... Let's just try it. Let's just try it. The trim brush is not always that great. Sometimes it just doesn't do a great job. Whoa, okay. I can also just go in and redraw this eye mask. It wasn't hard to do. So if I don't like how this ends in like a couple minutes, if I don't like where I'm at with this in a couple minutes, I'll just do that. It'll be much easier to just remake this shape again, something similar to what it looks like now, and then add the additional details that I'm looking for here. Which, by the way, I'm not sure of what those are. I just know I haven't seen it yet. So listen to your gut. Random unsolicited advice number 2 of the stream today is trust your gut when you're making art. When it tells you that something doesn't look good, it doesn't matter if you don't know what it is yet. Focus on it, examine it, try to figure it out, step back if you need to, go take a break if you need to. Because sometimes you just know it's not right, but nothing you're doing is fixing it. So just go take a break. Go take like half an hour, come back to it. And I feel like for me, almost always, it will stand out a lot more when you come back to it. When I come back to it, rather. And then it's easier to solve how to fix it when you know what's properly, when you know proper, like what's wrong with it. Proper. Okay, so it's looking a little bit like a flame right now, which is not the way I intended it to go. It's because of this guy up here, this little island that I made, branch out. And then I think this one up here, this little strand is also just a little too strong. I think it needs one coming out here. So let's just go ahead and see if we can do that pretty quickly. Just bring that out, remesh. Not quite. Messing with options I did not intend to. Okay. bring that a little bit. Okay, so this part's really tricky. This like little curved in area, because I do feel like it helps inform the emotion of this particular character, but man, I don't know how to like like I don't know what shape. I mean, I guess I'm thinking about it too hard. I need to back it up and maybe just look at it like, okay, what's a positive shape, right? Like it's like a smile, right? The eyes smile. Typically when eyes smile, I feel like it's the opposite of what it's like your mouth smiles, you know, the bottom of the lip, then, you know, to the sides go up. I feel like the eye's the opposite. It's like the sides stay lower, whereas the top of it goes up. So, unfortunately, his eyes don't work that way. But maybe it is that the center of his eyes need to go up higher. Whereas, you know, the ends of it, I'm just messing around real quick, you know, need to be a little bit lower. Because I want him to look happy. I want him to look excited. I want him to look like he's really feeling, you know, this meal he's cooking up. This dude's head. So maybe it's about making his eyes smile, even though he doesn't have traditional eyes. And I think that happens. Get this freaking prop out of here. I think that happens by maybe making this part crown out more. It looks all kinds of messed up at the moment. Not loving it. I'm just going to look up Venom smiling real quick to see if anyone... Oh man, there's a Venom smiling meme. Okay. So the way they do it, in one instance I just saw online, it's not by mimicking the way human eyes smile, basically. It was by branching the top. Oop. Get out of there. Get out of here. And kind of like thinning out, as if his eyes are almost like closing because he's smiling in, you know, delight. I'm kind of like giving him like a crown right now or something. I don't know. I feel like the stupid thing about this is that I don't even know if, for me, if it looks like he's smiling. Like if I think that it does look like he is, like, will it look like that to other people? I don't know. Hopefully. Really, it's also the mouth too. That I'm looking at more comic references now of like the Venom smile. Sorry, I'm not sharing it on screen. And it's really more. This is really cool looking. The mouth that they add the smile to. So maybe when I merge all this, I'll do like a proper jawline adjustment for head smiling more like this. There we go. I like how that looks like it's folded under it right now. That's cool. That's cool. This is unintentional, the way it's folding over it. It's because this is happening because ZBrush is not moving whatever is underneath the surface of this bottom jawline. It's only pulling what is visibly able to like actually attach to. but it's having a nice effect where it looks like the jaw is folding around, the upper jaw is folding around the bottom jaw. I'm going to take that and run with it because that is definitely a happy accident in my book. I do want him to smile more, so let's bring that other bottom jawline up more. And I think that does bring him closer to looking like he's smiling. I need to adjust the gums a little bit, but this is looking good. Move that bottom part up. Exactly what I was just talking about, how the ZBrush will not allow you to... It's not that it doesn't do it ever, it just doesn't do it by default. I think it's a setting you have to put on, but it's a setting I keep off because more often than not it causes me trouble when it starts grabbing things that I can't see. It's like, I'd rather you not touch things that I'm accidentally moving because I can't see it. And I guess if this bottom one's folding over, I need to figure out how the gums fold. Not fold, how they kind of stack on top of each other. Maybe like that. Oh, I hope I turn symmetry on. There are times when you sculpt the whole side of something and then you forget symmetry wasn't on, and then you have to Control Z so far back, or decide that, you know what, I'm just gonna have to mirror the mesh and do a bunch of other edits instead. And it's a whole big pain in the butt, but it's part of the process. Sometimes you just make mistakes. So it looks like I messed up this top gun a little bit. Top gum. I think I said gun. Or just move that tooth. I should have more teeth kind of coming out here. And also maybe... Oh, shoot. Maybe his gums should just point out a little bit more. I'm going to bring it in right now because these are things I can apply once everything's all merged together, and it'll be a lot easier to get a feel for it. Whereas right now I could be playing with the gums for an hour and then merge it and make a change later that I could have just done in a minute. Trying to see. I feel like I could spend all day on the eyes. Like it's so abstract, and I feel like important to the character's look here that I don't want to get it wrong, but it also makes me paranoid, and I'm going to spend a lot of time on it, and I don't want to do that. But just as I say that, I kind of like that. Cool. Yeah, let's just I think some of this got hidden. Okay. Although I like the way that looks right there, so I just want to like cut out whatever I don't see right now. Probably a way to do that, I don't know off the top of my head. So maybe I just hide that. I'm gonna cut it out like that. And then move it in. Okay. I'm feeling it. Gotta flatten this area out a little bit, but I'm feeling the eyes now. Just like that, I went from being paranoid that it was gonna suck and take forever to being like, no, that's good. It's a ZBrush miracle. I'm gonna move this spotlight image out of here because I don't think I need it anymore. I wish I knew who made that image because I would love to credit them on this stream or something, but maybe it was on. I don't think it was on there, right? Yeah, it just says Marvel's Tales featuring Venom. I don't see an artist name on there, and I found it on Pinterest, so, which of course led me to a page that it wasn't even on. So, sorry if you're the artist or you know the artist. I would definitely love to credit them. There's only so much time in a stream I can allot to doing stuff like that. Cool. I feel like the internet kid right now when I'm like working on it. I'm like, okay. Kind of want to do like little pupils right there. That's a nerd thing. Nerd has inverted like pupils almost. He's got like I'm gonna keep saying he, even though nerd is not a he, she. It's like it's an it. But yeah, nerd has like the like well, what do you call it? Like sunken in sockets, but then like a little pupil. It's I would compare it more to like one of those fish that has like fake eyes. Like it looks like eyes. We think it's the eyes, but it's not really the eyes. Ultimately, I just like the idea that even I am not sure what nerd is, and that the possibilities of what nerd is it remains open. Not necessarily to like interpretation, not like that, but like just like oh, nerd is nerd. I wouldn't really compare it to anything because it's not anything else. It's just nerd. Fun fact: I design nerd in Figma of all programs. I usually use Illustrator for logos and illustration, but I was feeling Figma. I've been using it a lot for my day job, and I just decided to stay in the program because I was already making some assets for the stream, for the social profiles and whatnot. And I was like, let me just try to make the logo in here real quick, and then yeah, after that night ended, I had nerd on screen, and I am not great with logo design. It's one of the few things I when it comes to design, I really just don't want to do. It's not because I despise it. Um, I don't despise logo design. I just feel like I'm not the best at designing logos in general. I have my own style for it. That style is often does not align with what the founder of whatever project is working on. So I just tell them like, hey, I'll do everything else. I'll design, your brand, and your make sure it looks nice across all the different areas it needs to show up in, but I don't want to do your logo. And I've said this to people before, and they said, no, please, I really want you to do it. I said, are you sure? And then they say yes, and then I do it, and then it winds up going a completely different place. So I'm just not a logo designer, and I am cool with that because I do a lot of other design things. But I did design Nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it. So that's the one logo that I do that I like. I am very glad it's Nerd. Okay, enough time on the eyes. Let me just fix that real quick. it's a good thing about this stream too is that I think if I was about the whole streaming process in sculpting is that I think it makes me a lot more aware of how I'm spending my time while I'm sculpting. Like if I was just in bed sculpting, you know, watching The Office or something, I could probably spend the whole night working on the eyes, and then I like next thing I know, it's 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like, dang, I spent a lot of time working on this one thing, and I forgot to move on, and now I got to go to bed. So, um, sculpting and streaming makes me a lot more aware of how much I'm spending my time on something because I'm worried about you guys getting bored, and me just working on one thing and that not being interesting. So, yeah, it's actually a really good like work process for me. Oh, crap. I forgot to do symmetry. Okay, that's okay because I will just cut out half of this. And then mirror it back again. And that is fine. There we go. Nothing of value was lost. Ah, crap. So... I accidentally smoothed out this one area too much, and now the end of it is not raised. I really should just get happy with this shape, and then become happy with the shape and then reduplicate it again as a mask on the skull and then extrude that out because I want to have like a nice evenness all around, and right now I'm losing that by messing with the shape of it so much and smoothing it, and not what I'm looking for. Not quite my tempo. Okay. All right. I think I messed up that top part. Yeah, there we go. Elastic move is what I was looking for. Elastic brush remind me of Elastic Girl from Incredibles, which I was just watching this morning with my daughter. Rather, I was watching while she played with her toys in the living room. It's interesting to go back and watch old Pixar movies because I remember watching, The Incredibles for the first time, and like it often is with every new Pixar movie comes out, being in awe of how like good it looked, how well it was rendered, how just tiny details were captured. Like rewatching it again today, I was amazed at how well. I think it is it a Violet. I think it is The Incredibles. Violet. Oh my God, please let it be Violet. Yeah, Violet. How her character's hair like moves in that movie. I think that was the first time I saw something like that in a Pixar movie. I might be wrong. Could have happened in an earlier movie, but it just looked really well done. And now going back to it, you look at it, and the rendering in the movie is not as good as what they're making now. If you compare Incredibles 1 and 2, you can see there's a huge difference in quality. But yeah, it's just really cool to go back and see. And I think the other thing that I really admired about that movie was that I had seen really done as well was how they did moonlight. There's a significant part of the movie where they're on the island during nighttime, and I think Violet and I forget her brother's name, her outside the cave, and like the moonlight shining on them, and it's not like this perfect white light. It's like it's got this very slight blue hue to it, and it's very beautiful and looks very real. I feel like I had this memory of watching it for the first time and being amazed at how well they captured the feel of like a moonlit night, on a beach or something. It was very cool. They do very good stuff over there at Pixar. No duh, right? So Pixar makes the render engine. It's like their proprietary render engine called RenderMan, and most recently they've opened it up to be used with Blender. I've tried it. I've tried using it. It doesn't work with my machine for some reason. I could not get it to work. It was one of those things where I tried it, on a whim, couldn't get it to work, had to move on, had other things to do with my day. But I would love to try it out and say like, hey, I rendered this thing using Pixar's technology. That's cool. All right, saving the eyes, saving the file. Moving on to the next part, which is, let's see, redo eyes. I'm gonna call that mostly done. I'm just gonna check it off. I'm not saying it won't be reworked more, but in terms of how it looks, I am actually happy with it. I think that's a good, unique look for it for this model. Definition in the jawline, we kind of did that. I think the next thing that has to be done is merging it all together. You know what? We're gonna save that for the next stream because it's 10:15 now. I'm gonna call it a night in about 15 minutes because I'm sleep deprived from the last 2 nights trying to get my daughter to sleep. So I don't want to keep it going as long tonight. But I think this is enough time to jump back into doing Eddie's alternate or variant head style. So let's do that. I'm excited to do that. And in order to do that, I'm going to export the bottom jaw. Yeah, the bottom jaw to another folder and bring that into the folder that Eddie's head exists in right now, because I don't want to be beholden to the way the jaw looks on the standard version of Venom, where it's attached to the top of his head. There's no reason it needs to be that way. If I want to adjust it more to give Eddie's face like more visibility, or maybe move it up more so like the teeth are going like around his face, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to have the opportunity to explore and not just be stuck with the jaw that I have here on the standard one. So that means I got to create a few clones of these subtools. And of course, these folders could not be further away from each other in the subtool manager. I'm just going to drag it down. Okay. And now we will commence with the cloning process. Okay, so that is bottom jaw. Okay, so I can clone that guy, bring that down. Cool. I might want to just clone the neck and bring that down, because that might move too with the jaw. Bottom gum. Yep. Okay, cool. Duplicate that. Oh, the only thing I don't want to duplicate is the no, I guess I could just clone the folder for it, the teeth. So let me just do bottom teeth merge folder, and what that does is it combines everything in that folder into a new subtool. Thank God. Very good action on ZBrush's part by making the merging of the subtool or merging of a folder into a new subtool instead of just merging it in one folder. They could have just made the folder merge into one subtool instead of cloning it. They didn't. I love them for it. Thank you so much, Pixelogic. Okay, now I can turn off the head and turn on everything else inside Eddie's head. Ooh. Wait, did I do the oh wait, top teeth are still on. There we go. I was gonna say, what the heck? Let me turn the props folder back on. There we go. I'm gonna color that spatula because it's been bothering me that it's black this whole time. I keep thinking it's a part of Venom's hand. It's not. It's also making it harder to see the shape. I'm not saying the hand is perfect, but this is one of the better hands that I've done. I've been trying to do blockier, kind of more stylized, Pixar almost like hands where they have very like sharp knuckles with very wide kind of blocky fingers. I love the look. Very inspired by it. Trying to bring it more into my work. I think I've gotten a little bit closer. Again, not perfect, but I'm feeling it. I need to work on the line here a bit for the hand, but it's going in a good direction. Okay, what I'm gonna have to do is actually bring out that jaw that I just did a whole folder merge with. I'm gonna do a new folder, Eddie jaw, because there's gonna be an instance where I want to hide all the Venom jaw, and it's not gonna be fun if it's all individual pieces. So bring that in. Sorry you guys don't see like the whole subtool. Like, man, it's off to the right here where I'm covering up, but I like the design of the screen right now for modeling in ZBrush, so it's just gotta be that way. And you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna merge the gums, the teeth, and the jaw together. That way I can just play with it like that. That was actually kind of cool looking. It'll be fun to play with this once everything's like one piece. I can really warp things around and make it look a little less uniform. Because, yeah, Venom is not a uniform character. He's got everything is being like formed on the go. At least that's my interpretation of the character. And now I can already start going in here and moving the jaw around into a place that I'm happier with. I can make it wider if I want. Move it up more towards, the back of his head. I do really like the idea of like the teeth almost being like pressed into his face. I think that is like kind of cool. Like it looks almost like armor. If you've ever seen I guess a good example would be Berserk, the lead character Guts. He has like this berserker armor, and it has like I feel like it has like these sharp teeth or something into it. It's been a while since I've seen it. Yeah, it has like these kind of like big teeth that are all on both the top and the bottom. It looks like a hound, and I just like the way that it almost looks like it's like clamping over his face. So like I wonder what that would look like here if we kind of brought it in a little bit. No, I'm just gonna mess around and find out, as they say. I'm going to test an assumption. What I'm doing is, ooh, I did not like that one bit. I'm going to wrap another jaw around the top of his head, almost like Venom is still, like the mouth is still there and everything. It's really just the whole head that has kind of folded back, like Venom's head, to allow for Eddie's head to show. Don't like it yet. I probably won't like it now that I'm seeing it. Yeah, it looks just kind of weird. I mean, it could be a look. I could see someone else doing it better. I just don't think I want to do it for mine. But it's interesting to see. Maybe if I move it back a little bit more. Yeah, it looks like he's being birthed. I don't like it. It would be cool if like the top of Venom's head was almost like a hoodie, like it's just folded back, think, yeah, not a concept that I like, so I'm just going to get rid of it. Tried it. Didn't like it. Moving on. So I do want there to still be somewhat of a covering on the back of his head. I don't want it to be like a full-on covering, like a cap, but I would like it if it looked like it was attached to the jaw a little bit. So I'll just put that there for now. You know, I need to add some hair, because that's going to change a lot about the character. Just going to bring the mouth in a little bit. But you know what? Not like that. I keep having new ways that I want to try to like make the mouth, but let's split this nose out actually. But I'm not sure. I'm still finding my method, you know, so to speak, when it comes to designing stylized characters in ZBrush. Just hide this. Actually, I need to go ahead and make this a mask. Or a polygroup, rather, using a mask. So the eyes are a little bulging out of his head. I want to fix that. I want to have them in more. I'm not so happy with that. Also, I think the nose could be better. His face right now is not... I don't like the look of it. It's not a very strong face. I imagine him having a much stronger face. Like, I don't know, like more rigidy. Or kind of, you know, like Venom is a big guy, but I always felt like it was an extension of who Eddie Brock was. You know, like he's more Hulk-like because Eddie Brock himself is, you know, not a skinny, lanky dude like Spider-Man. He's more of like a bulkier, meatier dude. So right now he looks like a Dr. Seuss character. Oh, crap. What am I changing? Oh, what just happened there? Nose completely got... I'm just going to mess around with this. Sorry, I'm being a little more silent. Anytime that I'm really trying to figure out the look of something, you know, especially a face. It's a very I don't know, not introspective, but like very, I don't know, it's a very silent process. I guess I should just say that. It's a very silent process where you're just really focused in on what you're making and every detail and how it's all going together. It's a little more where I was going for with the nose. The eyes are a little big. I think it's what's going on here. So let's merge that. Let's fix the eyes and then we'll call it a night. Just make them a little bit smaller. Auto group. Boom, 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 boom. Oops, that's not what I intended to do. Okay, these guys need to be black again. That's what was throwing me off on this. All right, I think I'm gonna throw the eyes out because they're throwing me off so much, and I don't like it. Like, they looked okay earlier. I don't like them anymore now. I don't like the eyebrows. I think we're gonna just scrap all that. And then what I might do is work on the face a little bit outside the stream tomorrow. Or I might just save it for Thursday. But I really want Thursday to be a day that either the sculpt is either done or near done. I will also have, while hopefully the next stream is closing up of the model in ZBrush. There's still a whole stage where we take it into Blender. We do a whole material design process, everything from the skin to the symbiote suit to the actual lighting, and the staging of everything. There's gonna be a lot going on in the scene. It's it's a character portrait, but you got a pan, it's cooking. There's gonna be steam coming out. You gotta have dynamic lighting for how he's looking down at the pan. So yeah, it's gonna be next stream is not going to be the end of the Venom project, but there'll probably be an additional one after that where we actually work on the final render. So I might get a little bit more prepared for the next two streams. I want to wrap it up, and then then it's October. I want to do a Halloween stream. I want to do something working up to the last stream. The day before Halloween, whatever it is. And I haven't quite figured out what that project is yet. I've been thinking about it, but I've also been doing a million other things, so my brain hasn't been as focused on it. But I love Halloween. I want to do something Halloween focused. Venom is, a scary character, but not really a Halloween, project. So I'm thinking about doing something unique. I had a character in mind last year, but it's not quite, calling to me that strong for this year's Halloween project. So I will certainly take recommendations. I'm very open to what it could be. Last year. I did Frankenstein and a Nosferatu looking Vlad / Dracula type character, which I think should be going up on the Not Real Toys Instagram tomorrow or the next day or something. I've been posting one old rendered piece a day on the Not Real Toys Instagram because there's a whole backlog of work I haven't posted on Not Real Toys. I want to put it up there just so people have some old content to look through, and so we get some good content on the Instagram. Like I said, it's looking a little empty for the past couple months since I registered the handle. Um, and then we'll start putting newer content on. We'll start putting stuff from the streams on there. So it'll all be uploaded. It'll all be spread and diversified amongst all the different social media platforms. So yeah, that is. Sorry, it wasn't so much a satisfying conclusion to the stream there. I'll just revert his eyes back because, what the heck, right? Let's just keep it the way it was before we started making crazy changes. Did I make the eyebrow? There we go. Okay. He looks a little goofy. Not as much visually was done on this stream as from like where we started. Like there's, the body still pretty much looks exactly the way it is, but we did some pretty important work to the head, which was huge because the eyes, the jaw, all that stuff had to look right, or else it would throw the rest of the character off. There's going to be a lot of details on the body, but the place that the viewer is going to be drawn to immediately is going to be the center here, or the face. That's where the most amount of detail is going at. It is the face. You're going to be drawn to it naturally, and he's looking down at the bozo's head here in the pan. That's what I'm calling him. I'm calling the bozo because I got to make him sound silly and goofy almost to offset the fact that his head is being grilled in a pan by a terrifying alien creature. So let me turn this last part back on. There we go. Get some teeth back up in here. Oof. Turn off that last jaw part. There we go. So that's pretty much the work we did on the stream this episode was this little bit here with the jaw, the eyes. Went by fast. It does every time. So, but we'll see you again on Thursday. You'll see me again on Thursday. Thank you for tuning in if you did. And like I said, if you give me a follow, email me at hello@notrealtoys.com with your name, your username you followed me at, your emailing address. I will send you stickers. I want to give stickers away. So please email me if you do. If you want the stickers. All right. That's enough rambling. Thank you so much. Have a good night.